Senate Minority Leader Pimentel formally asks the Senate to convene as an impeachment court to try the case against Vice President Sara Duterte. Taking the floor on Monday, June 9, Pimentel moved that the Senate's legislative business be suspended and that the Senate already convene as the impeachment court today, among others.
So in the light of all of this, and in accordance with our solemn duty under the Constitution, I most respectfully move, number one, that our legislative business be suspended. Number two, that we already convene as the impeachment court at this very moment. Number three, that the Senate President immediately take his oath as presiding officer of the impeachment court. Number four, that thereafter, the Senate President / presiding officer administer the oath or affirmation to all the members of the Senate now present. Number five, that the impeachment court then call the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte and come up with a calendar for the trial thereof. Number six, that tomorrow, June 10, 2025, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the impeachment court call the impeachment case for the presentation and reading of the articles of impeachment by the panel of prosecutors of the House of Representatives. And number seven, that thereafter, the writ of summons be issued to the impeached officer.
Senator Risa Hontiveros seconds Pimentel's motion. In her manifestation, Hontiveros cites the constitutional provision on impeachment. She points out that the impeachment trial must proceed immediately following the transmittal of the verified complaint backed by more than one-third of all members of the House of Representatives.
Hindi po mahirap intindihin ang utos sa sino mang tapat ang intensyong sundin ito. Ang paglilitis ay dapat agarang simulan nang walang pag-iwas o iba pang pagpapaliban. In fact, retired Justice Adolfo Azcuna, who wrote the procedural section that included the word forthwith, said that it meant, and I quote, immediately and without unreasonable delay, or in the national language official version, agad-agad.
The senators then discussed the motion. Senator Joel Villanueva raises a procedural question, saying there's a need for the articles of impeachment to be referred to the Committee on Rules first before they can convene. Villanueva says he shared the view to immediately convene the impeachment court, but he says he does not see any reason why the Senate should convene on Monday rather than on Wednesday, June 11. The House impeached Duterta on February 5 and immediately transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate, but the upper chamber is yet to convene as an impeachment court. Senate President Chis Escudero originally set the presentation of charges against Duterte on June 2. He later moved it to June 11, the last day of session before the 19th Congress adjourned sine die on June 30. The Senate has yet to decide on Pimentel's motion as of Monday afternoon. Vice President Sara Duterte's legal team believes the initiation of the impeachment process against her suffers from serious constitutional infirmities. Duterte's defense team makes the pronouncement amid calls pressuring the Senate to immediately proceed with the impeachment trial. The team says they will refrain from commenting on the call specifically, but maintains that the impeachment against Duterte had constitutional issues. The vice president's legal team says the impeachment process should not be weaponized to harass, silence, or eliminate political opponents. It adds that impeachment is a constitutional mechanism and not a political tool. However, Duterte's defense team stresses that it will be ready to face the charges should the trial proceed. The Senate has rescheduled the presentation of the articles of impeachment against Duterte from June 2 to June 11. This postponement prompted several groups, former lawmakers, and even law schools to call on the Senate to proceed with the impeachment trial as part of its constitutional duty. The House of Representatives impeached Vice President Duterte on February 5 with over 200 lawmakers backing the complaint. This allowed for the immediate transmittal of the verified complaint from the House to the Senate on the same day. However, Duterte's case remains pending in the 19th Congress with only a few days left until it adjourns and transitions into the 20th Congress. Philippine National Police Chief General Nicolas Torre III says lethal force will only be used as a last resort when arresting suspects. Torre made a visit to the Commission on Human Rights main office in Quezon City on Monday, June 9. In his speech, Torre assures that his directive to increase arrests will not be abused by policemen. He believes a cop will have to be so desperate to arrest someone without a basis, emphasizing lethal force should only be used as a last resort. Torre likewise clarifies with the CHR possible issues surrounding his directive to combat the proliferation of illegal drugs. Torre highlights the role of the CHR in helping police personnel and officers ensure that everything they do is within the ambit of the law. Upon assuming office as the new PNP chief, Torre said arrests will become a metric to measure the law enforcer's performance. The Human Rights Agency then said using the number of arrests as a performance metric may pressure officers to prioritize quantity over quality. The Commission believed such frameworks risk incentivizing shortcuts, abusive or arbitrary practices, which may undermine human rights and erode public trust in law enforcement. The CHR added that effective policing is best measured by the quality of investigations, respect for due process, and the consistent upholding of legal and ethical standards. Local oil prices of petroleum products continue their uptrend, increasing by almost 1 peso a liter beginning Tuesday, June 10. In separate advisories on Monday, June 9, local oil companies announced that the per liter price of diesel will be costlier by 95 centavos, while gasoline will be more expensive by 60 centavos. Meanwhile, kerosene prices will increase by 30 centavos per liter. The fresh price movement in gasoline marks its fourth straight week of hikes. Industry sources earlier said the upward price adjustments this week could be influenced by persistent geopolitical conflict and supply fears. Filipino-Americans Nicole Scherzinger and Darren Criss bring home the Best Actress and Best Actor in a Musical awards at the 2025 Tony Awards. Scherzinger won the Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role in a Musical for Sunset Boulevard, while Criss bagged Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role in a Musical for Maybe Happy Ending. In an emotional speech, Scherzinger says being recognized with theater grace was an honor. She also thanks her loved ones and beloved colleagues. On the other hand, Criss dedicates his Tony to his wife Mia, who he says took a massive swing on allowing him to be a part of Maybe Happy Ending. Filipino-Americans Conrad Ricamora and Clint Ramos were also recognized at the awards ceremony. Ricamora earned a nomination for Best Performance by an Actor in a Featured Role in a Play for Oh Mary, and Ramos was nominated for Best Costume Design of a Musical for Maybe Happy Ending. Meanwhile, Lea Salonga was also part of the 78th edition of the Tony Awards as a presenter. The Tony Awards honor the best of the theater industry in the past year.